uh, I wanted to start the recording. I should have started early. Okay, now, all right. What did you ask me now?
Is the when we enter in passwords into like the console port and the VTY and then aux, they're considered encrypted, aren't they?
Yes, they are encrypted.
Alrighty. Alright, so once we get our, console password set in, we're gonna go ahead and go into the line VTY04. And really, essentially, it's the same thing as we did on the line console. You're gonna do password Cisco space 3 login.
Now,
And
let me ask: is he moving too fast for anybody, or because he's pretty smooth with this? But if somebody's trying to uh, follow his steps, is he moving too fast for you? If so, use the chat line
That's what
or
screenshots are for.
whatever. Let him know. Sometimes you have to slow down a little bit, Neil.
I'm
Hold
good.
on.
right. Yeah, I apologize because I'm just a very quick person when it comes to this, but is everyone, at least caught up with me at least? Just I'll make sure to give y'all a second.
I think
Yes.
I'm good. Maybe like if we do this Thursday, we can have like a note on the package tracer that says, "If I'm moving too fast, please raise my hand," or like please raise your hand, so we can get caught up. But I'm good. I'm good.
That'll work too. Raise your hand. That'll work.
Alrighty, and then we'll just go to the last password we're going to. So it's the line aux there. It's the same thing as the last two, just first line's different. Line space aux 0. Do password Cisco space 4 and log in. And this is step 1 of the process that you'll go through. This is like, say, if you can remember to do this, you're done. Then it's all the stuff we've done in the past with the setting up, switch port access, the trunks, and the VLANs. So we're gonna go ahead and move into creating our VLANs. So we'll do VLAN 5, name student, and then you can go, if you want, you can go ahead and create your other VLANs and just keep going forward like that, or you can go ahead and do the whole switch port mode. So I like just go ahead and do the switch ports. So we're just gonna go do interface range FA0 / 1 through 10. We're just gonna stick to the default because I didn't pull up the one that Mr. Martin set up, but it's still good practice for us, keep doing it like this. So we'll do enter, and I'm gonna use shortcuts with this. So we're gonna do SW for switch port, mode, access, and then we'll do switch port. Excuse me. And let's see, switch port, access. Let me see. Hang on, I'm trying to remember. Let's see, switch port access.
Switchboard
You talking
access
VLAN?
VLAN 5.
That's it. Thank you.
Yeah.
So VLAN 5, and you can put your spaces in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've fully set up VLAN 5. So now it's just kind of repeating the process again with VLAN 10 and 20.
And
So
20.
so we'll go to VLAN 10 now, and we can do name faculty. I may have spelled that wrong, but spelling is not
Yeah.
too much worried here. And again, we're going to repeat the next two steps, the switch port mode. So switch port mode access. Oh. Oh, excuse me. I skipped a step.
Interface range.
Yep, interface range FA0 / 11 through 15. And then we can do our switch port mode access. And then switch port access VLAN 10. Alright, is everyone good with me so far?
I'm
I'm
good.
good. I have my mic muted so you don't hear my really obnoxiously loud
Yes.
keyboard.
Not a problem, guys. I just want to make sure I'm not going too fast. And so we'll go ahead and do VLAN 20 now, and we'll name that admin. And of course, interface range FA0 16 through 20. Switch port mode access. Again, just using quick commands. You can type it all out if that's what you're comfortable with. But it's at least easier for me to do the SW for switch port. And switch port access VLAN 20. So we have fully configured all of our VLANs. We moved our ports over. We switched them over to access mode. Now we're going to go ahead and do our trunks. So we'll do interface range FA0 23 through 24. Now let's see if I don't think we need the encapsulation on this one. I think it was the one above us.
The encapsulations for the 3560. We don't have to do the encapsulation on the 29.
Okay, so then thank you, Dale. I appreciate that. Just couldn't remember. So we'll go ahead and enable the encapsulation mode first. So it's switch port mode trunk.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh wow, the video quality just got lower. Hold on. I think you're trying to buffer. There we go. Okay.
I was going to say I was having buffering issues as well a second ago. I thought it was me.
Alrighty, well. Encapsulation.1.
Sorry if my keyboard's too loud.
Alright, so everyone with me so far? Is the buffering good?
You're good now.
Alright, so this is the encapsulation command for the older switch. If you just as a heads up, if you remember to do that. I can't remember if there was a quick way to do encapsulation, so I just went ahead and typed it all out. And of course, I didn't spell it right. Let me see. Switch port mode. Trunk. Anyone? Let's see. I'm actually drawing a blank again. Anyone remember the encapsulation command?
I'm getting my notes up right now.
Yeah, same thing.
Hang on. Hang tight. Hang tight. Hang tight.
I'm letting you guys work through it. I'm just listening.
Okay.
Sounds good, Mr. Martin.
It should be switch port trunk encapsulation.1q and then switch port
Yeah.
mode trunk.
Encapsulation.1.
Yeah. Do
There
the
we go.
encapsulation first. Right.
Yep. Okay, that's what I was doing. I was trying to do mode, but I was like, I couldn't remember if it was mode or trunk, so I just went with it. But thank you for finding that, Dale.
That's cool. Switch
So-
port. Okay, hold on.
I didn't
switch port.
see that the mode was there. I was like, that's right. And then when you said, oh, I put mode in there, I was like, oh yeah, I see mode now. I was like, that's right. I'm looking at my notes and everything. I'm like, wait a minute. Are my notes wrong?
I was jumping a step. I'm literally doing this off base memory, so I'm using no notes at all. But again,
No,
thank
I
you for
understand.
that.
I understand.
So-
I was just confused. That's all.
It's all good. So now that we got our encapsulation, now we can do switch port mode trunk, which should allow us to, configure this correctly. And then we'll do switch port trunk allowed VLAN 1 through 20. And remember, you have to do 1 through 20 because you've got to include the native VLAN in that. Because if you skip it, your VLANs won't necessarily work for the whole trunking. And put an in on that. Alright, and we should have now fully set up our switch. So I'm going to go ahead and do end to go back to the beginning. And I'm going to do enable show VLAN. And I'll stretch this out to make it look a little bit easier to look at. And so as you can see, we've got VLANs 5, 10, and 20, and our ports 1 through 10 are on VLAN 5. Ports 11 through 15 are on 10, and 16 through 20 are on 20. So we can say that that has been configured correctly. And if we wanted to check to make sure everything else is done, of course, you know, you're going to do show run, and we'll just kind of use the spacebar to jump a little bit. I'll expand this so that we can see a little bit more than just a little. And so far we can see all the switchport mode access are in the correct places. They're all on the correct VLANs. And then checking to see if our trunks are set up. So we look at 23 and 24. I know it might, yeah, see about right here. And we see that that's all configured correctly. So the switch is fully set up. And what I would go ahead and do, let's see, go ahead and Control C our switch and just do Control V. And we'll go ahead and set them all up real quick, you know, as we would do. All right, so we've got our 3560 switch set up. Now I want to go ahead and go into our 2960. Just do a check, see if everyone's still good with me, if I'm moving too fast again or not.
I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm great.
All right. So before I get to configuring this one here, as I said, I had already pre-configured the passwords in this. It's essentially the same thing that we've done on the 3560. The only difference is that you do not have to do a line aux0 password for this. There is no auxiliary port on the 2960, and I want to thank Dale for pointing that out because I think he's the one that had mentioned it a couple of weeks ago when we tried entering it in.
Also, Dale, you don't have to do the .1Q statement.
Yep, that too as well. So we won't have to worry about the encapsulation line configuration for this. But I want to go ahead and get my password in. See, Cisco, should be Cisco 2. Yep. Now, if you're curious why I used Cisco 2, wait a minute, why did Cisco 2 work? Should have been Cisco 1. Let me hang on one sec, guys. Let me. Okay, Cisco 1. Now, why is Cisco 2?
Can we redo the 2960?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, 2960. Okay.
Doggone Neo courses.
I think Neil will make a good teacher.
He can help me for sure.
Alrighty. So are you guys at this point with blank 2960 switch enable comp T?
I am. Also, if my keyboard's way too loud, just tell me to just mute my mic.
You're good. I haven't
I
heard your
never hear
keyboard at
your
all.
keyboard, man.
Alright, so we'll go ahead and begin. So we've done enable comp T. We're gonna go ahead and enable our password. So enable password Cisco, and we'll do our secret next. Enable secret Cisco space 1, if I can spell. And we'll go ahead and enter in our next couple of passwords. So we're going to go into line console
Oh,
0.
oh well.
Pat.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, and password Cisco space 2. Login. And then we'll go and move to our next one, the line VTY04. Let's see. Password Cisco 3 or space 3. log in. Now, as I mentioned, we don't have an aux port, but just to kind of show you guys, I'm going to attempt to get into line aux 0. And of course,
Yep.
it says there's an invalid input detected, which tells us that there is no auxiliary here. If you did want to check that, you could look at the physical. You kind of zoom in, click. I know it's not showing my mouse, but I'm kind of highlighting it. But it's the zoom in that's kind of flashing on y'all's screen, and just kind of smooth the toolbar over. We'll see our ports and our gigabit ports, but no auxiliary port on that. So that's how you would determine if it would have one. So we'll go back to the CLI. And again, we're going to go ahead and set up our VLANs like we did on the 3560. So we'll do VLAN 5, name student, and then we'll set up the ports now. So interface range FA0/1 through 10, switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 5. I'll give y'all just a second to get that in real quick.
Mm-hmm.
It was Mary.
Alrighty, so we'll go ahead and move to the next VLAN. We'll do VLAN 10, name faculty, interface range FA0/11 through 15, switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 10. Alright, and lastly VLAN 20, name admin, switch port mode access, excuse me, interface range, not switch port. FA0/16 through 20. Now we'll do our switch port mode access. And then switch port access VLAN 20. Alright, give y'all just a few minutes again to get all this entered. And if you haven't, if you do, just let me know when y'all ready to move to the next step.
I'm good.
I'm good.
I was yelling I'm good. I forgot I muted myself.
Alrighty, so now we're gonna go ahead and set up our trunks. So we'll do interface range FA0/23. Oops. FA0/23 through 24. So again, you don't have to do the encapsulation code as Mr. Martin pointed out. So this is a newer switch, so it already has it built into it. So we're
Right.
just going to go straight into switch port mode trunk and switch port trunk allowed VLAN 1 through 20. Alright, and that should have fully configured it. Of course, we're going to double check just to make sure. So we're going to do N to go back to the very beginning. We'll do enable show VLAN. And I'll stretch this out so that it actually looks a little bit better. So of course, we double check. We got our VLANs 5 through 20,
Mm-hmm.
and then our ports 1 through 10 on VLAN 5, 11 through 15 on 10, and 16 on 20. So that looks good there. We'll just hit escape to stop from right there, and then we can do a show run. I'll drag and drop this a little bit. And we'll just hit the spacebar to kind of quickly go through it just to check and see. And everything looks to be set up correctly, and We can see that our trunks are also set up as well right here. So this
Okay.
looks real good. So we'll go ahead and highlight our switch like I'm doing and do Control C. Do a Control V 2 times to go ahead and print out 2 of them. And there you go. Now, as far as setup on the router goes, I've kind of fought myself with this.
Wait,
Depending on how you look at. Oh, go ahead, Dale.
I was gonna say, I think we are missing a step. As far as the not the routers, but the switches, isn't there something? Hang on, where's the modules at for this? Or was it the router?
It's the router that you got to add in the
That's
thing.
right. Okay, I'm sorry. I was going way ahead. My bad, man. My bad. I thought it was the switches, but sorry.
You
Go
got
ahead.
It's
to put
okay.
in the module in the router, right?
Yep.
Right.
So just remember to turn off your router. Like, I don't know if you can see it, but I'm kind of clicking it really quick. But you'll turn it off, and you're gonna put in the HWIC-2T. Make sure that you put it all the way here to the right next to the ports, because if you put it in any of the other ones, I've discovered the hard way from level 2 that if you put it into these other ones, the serial port number, the S0/0/0, is not the same as what it would be in the other 3. It actually becomes a S0/10 or S1/0/0. So it has to
Right.
be to the far right.
Yeah, it depends. It depends on which slots you put it in, how you would start it out. So, that first one is the uh, this is a 0 slot. Is that correct?
I haven't quite figured out the
I think,
serial combination on
I
that,
think
Mr. Mark.
I think there's a number. Hold on.
Yeah,
Let me zoom in on it.
if you zoom into that, like I can't read it from here. He would have to zoom in on his, but it
Yeah.
says it says EMMC321, and that starts your 3 bracket assignment for the ports. I guess would be the easiest way to say that. I don't know the actual terminology. Sorry.
Slide it over, Dale, to where you have it put in. Okay, hold on.
Dale.
Neil.
I'm sorry,
It's
Neil.
fine.
What does it say right there above the module that you put in? Can anybody read that?
I
It's
can't
hard
on
to
my
read.
screen.
Yeah, it's hard to read on
Oh,
my
yeah,
screen, but
that's what
It looks like a 0, but it could be an 8. But the one next to it looks like a 1, so that
I think it's a
num
0. I think it's a 0, and the next one is 1. So Cisco starts out counting with 1. So that's why you have that. Okay. So you want to start out with their first slot first, and then work your way up as you can put many more modules in there if you needed to, more serial ports or whatever other kind of modules you wanted to. But you start out first by using that 0 slot first and then work your way up.
Alrighty.
Okay?
So then, of course, once you get your module put in, you're gonna have to turn back on your router. So we'll go ahead and turn it back on. Let it do the load process. Now, this is where I haven't really quite figured out what I think is the fastest at this part. Your first option would be to go ahead and configure the router for your passwords, and you can just copy it over all the way across since we have to do different IPs into them, which I think is what I usually do the most. Or you can just uh, copy it blank and then just go into it and set up all your stuff and then do passwords. So I guess this one
I,
will be
I
a
like the idea
preference.
of doing the password since they're going to be the same on all of them, right? And
Right.
then copy it and then go in and put your configurations in.
Alrighty, so we'll go ahead and do that then. We'll go ahead and set up our passwords on the router. So we can do enable conft and we'll do enable password Cisco.
oops.
And we'll go ahead and set up enable secret Cisco space 1. And we'll move into the line console as well. So line console 0. Password Cisco space 2. And log in. So that it's always asks for a password whenever you connect to the console port. Next we'll go into the line VTY space 0 space 4. Password Cisco 3 or space 3. Enter and log in. And then line aux 0. Password Cisco 4. Log in. Alright. Just make sure, just do a check, everyone's still good, everyone caught up.
I'm good.
Any questions?
No questions.
Billy
No
to
questions. No questions.
My bad.
And
I'm
did
good.
you-
I have my mic off. I'm good. Thanks.
Yeah, we need a
Alrighty.
push to talk option for these things.
I agree.
Alright, so what I'm gonna go ahead and do, since we've got all that set, I'm gonna do end. I'm just gonna go ahead and do a copy run start to be safe. And I probably should have done that on the other switches before. Copy that over, but I think it usually just saves what we got anyways, regardless. But it's always good to remember that if you're doing this real time, be sure to do a copy run start. Save yourself a lot of time and hassle. So we're gonna go ahead and copy our router. So Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V. All right. And so once we do that, we'll go back to our first router, which we're gonna see and oh no, Control Shift 6. Stop that. Let's see, enable conf t. Just for, as this is just, eye candy. If you wanted to go ahead and name your routers, you can just go ahead and name it, name router A. Oh, did I not do that one right?
Yeah, you should name it.
It
I
should
mean,
be.
because
It
that's
should
what's
say
on the.
host name.
Ah,
Host
host
name
name.
router A.
Thank you. Host
Yeah,
name.
you should name it. Because I think that's what's on the diagram, right?
You just
A
have to
is
say A. Host name and then A. Don't think it accepts full words. I've tried to name it other things. Like
There
I
you go.
tried. There it goes. Okay, no space. I guess that's what it is. That's the
Yeah.
trick.
So we'll name the router and everything. Oh, and then we're gonna go ahead and set up our IP addresses. So we'll go to interface G0/0. We'll do, and I'm gonna just try to use IPs that we've done in the past. I'm sure they will be different for our actual hands-on final. So we'll do IP address 195.95.5.1 as our gateway. So this will be our basically as I would say our 95 network that we're going to do. And we'll put in our subnet mask of 255.255.255.0.
Class CIP.
And do a no shut so that it turns it from down to up.
Bing bong.
And we'll go into the next interface, G0/1, and we'll do IP address 195.95.10 for VLAN 10. We did VLAN 5 on G0/0, so this is going to be for VLAN 10. See 95.10.1, and then our subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. And again, no shut. I'll turn that from down to up.
Mm-hmm.
And then do our last interface G0/2. And it's kind of do the same thing, IP address 195.95.20 for VLAN 20.1, and then our subnet mask again. And we'll do a no shut. And then we're going to go ahead and go into our serial port as well. So let's see, and if I remember correctly, it would be serial S0/0/0, because 1 is usually on the left side and 0 is on the right side of the router, if that makes any sense from our diagrams. And we'll do IP address, and we'll just do 198.98.98.1 with our Class C subnet mask of 255.255.255.0, and we'll do a no shut here. Now, if you notice that I got a interface S0/0/0 change state to down, that's only because nothing is technically connected to it just yet. It'll continue to remain down until we, establish our links to the other router. But just do a check. Everyone's still following along with me.
Check.
You here?
I'm good.
All right. So now that we've got our IPs set up, the next thing I like to do is go into our router RIP. So we'll go ahead and do that. Router RIP. Oh, actually, hang on. It is. Need to ask the audience. The next command for getting to, setting your router RIPs.
You do router rip, and then you do network, and then you have to put in all the networks that are connected to the router.
I cannot remember the line config for it to get into it.
Okay, so you do
Okay.
CompT, then you do router rip, you hit enter, and then you put network, and
And then
then
it's
it's the networks that are connected to the router. Remember, the networks end in 0, right?
Okay, there we go. So.
You understand what I'm talking about?
Oh, okay. See, that's why I didn't take it at first. I didn't spell RIP right. So I did have it right, just misspelled. All right.
Oh,
So network. So we're gonna go ahead and add in all of our networks that we set up on the our GSO ports, or gigabit ports, excuse me. But instead of doing a .1, we're gonna do a .0 for the network. So we'll
right.
do 195.95.0,
hmm
and we're just gonna do it up and change that 5 to a 10. Again, just hit up, change that 10 to a 20.
Yeah. Make sure the last number is 0, though, right?
Yep.
yes.
Okay.
And our serial port of 198.98.98.0 as well. So, and then just as a refresher, what this does is this allows our other networks, when we get them set up on the other routers, to communicate through it, because the job of a router is to connect networks.
That's it.
Yep. 100%.
Great, great.
All right, and so now the last thing we would do is set up our ACLs, but I set up ACLs the very last after I set up our computers and set up IPs. So I'm going to hold off on doing that for right now. So I'll just
But
do it.
say again now, you gonna do what?
I'll go ahead and set up our other routers first for all the other IPs, and then set up computers, and then do a ping test across my network to make sure that everything is communicating correctly. There's
Okay,
no issues.
sure. Okay.
So we'll do a copy run start. Just go ahead and save my stuff,
Okay.
and we'll go on to the next router. All right, we've got our module in there. So we'll go to CLI. And then, of course, since we did our passwords earlier, you'll have to enter in your password, which is Cisco 2. For whatever reason, it's taking the line console password. I don't know
Wait a minute.
why.
What happened now?
It's not taking the secret password of Cisco 1. It's taking the line console password of Cisco 2.
We might need to go back and check that. You sure you put it in right?
Yeah, it was enable password Cisco for plain text.
Right.
Enable secret was Cisco 1,
And it's
and
not
then
taking that?
it's not
No,
taking
it's not.
Cisco 1.
Oh.
You think it might just be packet tracer? Because I remember specifically.
Hey, hold on. I think you did put Cisco 1 for your secret. I'm looking at the screenshot that I
Right,
took.
but it's not accepting Cisco 1, it's taking Cisco 2.
Hold on. I'm trying
Mine's
to
not
zoom
even
in.
taking. Mine's not even taking Cisco 2. Unless if it's Cisco Space 2.
But go ahead and let's go back and look at the configuration after you do your show.
Oh,
Well,
it is. Okay, never mind.
well, we won't be able to see it because it'll be encrypted, right? Uh, hmm.
Well, before we go further, Mr. Martin, let's go ahead and just double check what we've got then. So we can do
Okay.
a show run after I enable Cisco. Cisco. Oh, see, now it took Cisco 1 as the password after I did enable.
Yeah. Okay, so it did those first two, and then when you did enable, it took Cisco.
Right, but isn't the line, why would it take the line console password first over the secret password?
Well, I think it's because, and I'm not sure, but before you can get to, you got to be able to get to the line console before you can actually get into the unit. Does that make sense? So the line console, let's think about it. So physically, you got to get from the computer to the line console, and we use that cable for that, right?
Mm,
Hmm.
All right, so you got to get there first. So you got to get the password so you can get past the console before you can actually get in and to do any configurations.
So
So
then
that
essentially is what packet tracer is doing is it's saying is it virtually thinking that we're using a computer to connect into these routers since we're just going straight into the router CLI itself.
yeah, it's still the same way, because if we wanted to, you could actually connect this up like we do physically. You can get you a computer and connect it up to the line console, and then I think it's called instead of command prompt. What is one right beside it? It's you know how we use the putty? They have one built into it, and you will see exactly the same thing as you see now. If you want to, you can give it a try.
Oh wait, I know. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know
Dan's
exactly what he's
course I
talking about.
think did it.
Okay,
Yeah.
and so basically, I think what's happening is it's saying, okay, if someone was trying to get into your piece of equipment, the router here, that what would happen is they first would have to get past the console before they can even get to the configuration. So
Okay.
that's why the line console password is coming up first
Okay,
be-
that
before
makes
you get to the
sense.
configuration. Okay.
Okay, well then that kind of just clears up that the passwords are set correctly. It was just mimicking, doing the computer to the router if there was a console cable first.
hmm
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah. So
so
all the CLI doing is just kind of emulating that, but you can still do it the real way. Um, we always did this way just because it was a shortcut, because it was quick, and we were trying to follow Dan's course. But you can, if you want to. I'm not against it if you want to do the next one like this, just to show that you can pull up a computer and connect it up to the line console and do it just like we always have. If you want to do that, just for show.
yeah, I can do that for everyone if they want to see as well.
Okay.
But we'll go ahead and continue on. So we'll go ahead and set up our IP addresses now here. So we'll go into conf t and then interface g0/2 or g0/0,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll do IP address 195.95.5.3 .2 for the gateway this time, because this is, as I would say, section B in our racks in the classroom, which other words is router B and the switches that go with it.
The middle part.
And
Okay.
we'll do our subnet mask of course 255.255.255.0, and we'll do a no shut, and we are good on that. So we'll move to the next interface, G0/1, IP address 195.95.10.2, and our subnet mask again with a no shut. And into the last port, IP address 195.95.20.2. And again, same subnet mask again with the no shut. All right, just do a check. Everyone good on those IP addresses before we move on to the serial ports?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Marion?
I'm good.
All right. So as we go into the next one, so we started out, if you guys remember, on the first router, router A, which I haven't changed the name on it over there. We started off on interface S0/0/0/0. This time we're going to go into 0/0/1, so that we can make that connection right there on that bridge. So we'll do IP address, and if you remember, we did 198.98.98.1. This time it'll be a .2, because they have to have different IP addresses. If you use the same IP, it's going to cause a collision or halt traffic per se, because it's not going to know where to go.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll do a no shut. And as I mentioned before in the previous one, it's changed state to down. Once we're done configuring this, we'll connect, a serial port so you can see that it is, working and it is communicating.
But noise.
Yep, Dale, I think your fans are kicking up at this time.
Who, me?
Yeah, I heard some fan noise.
That was not me. I had my. Wait, whoa. Is my microphone way too loud or something?
No, it just picked up feedback when you first came on. It sounded like a fan. It
It's
could have
all
been
right.
you got too close to your cooling
Okay.
fans of your computer or something.
Oh no, my mic is right to my face.
Okay. Go ahead. We're good.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna go into interface S0/0/0 on this router. Now for the IP address here, instead of it being 198, we're gonna go ahead and move to a different set of IP. So we'll do 199.99.1. For whatever reason, if you were to continue on using 98.3 and 4, like going in that order, communication along the serial lines for some reason does not work using the same IP. They've got to be different from serial ports. So do keep that in mind that you have to transition to a different set of IPs. So for prime example, since I did 98, I'm moving to 99. If y'all chose to do like 200.20.20.1, you'd have to go like 201 and then 2121. Hopefully that makes that sense and you follow with that. But any questions, I can help you out with that down later. But we'll just continue on doing this now. Go ahead and put our subnet mask and do a no shut. All right, and so now at this point we'll go ahead and do our router rip. So we'll go ahead and put that command in. And again, all the networks we put on this one, you'll have to put in for here. Just remember to do a .0. So we'll do a 195.95.5.0. And 10, 20, and then the serial ports.
Oh, it's 198.
Yep. And a lot of this is going to be like you're probably going to question why you're doing the same. Again, you're just allowing the router to communicate traffic through, since we are using a lot of the same IPs. The only difference is like the gateways, but it
Right.
knows where it's looking for when you do a ping. Like if you're prime example, you got a computer on gateway 95.95.5.1, and you're doing a you know computer that's on the .2 network. It knows where to look for it using this network trafficking rules. And we'll go ahead and do end and copy run start. We'll do a yes. Let's see, copy run start. Should have just hit enter. There we go. All right. So now what we're gonna go ahead and do is, like I said, we're gonna go just kind of make sure our serial cables are working right before we move on. So click on that little Thunderbolt, and you're gonna do, let's see,
It's supposed to be DCE to DTE,
yep,
Right. The one
and
with
then
the
we'll
clock.
it's I believe it's 0 to 1. Like
Yep.
so, we're gonna 0 and then connect over, and it should be a 1.
yep. I did forget something. I did. So we need to
What?
go back into router B, which I need to set up that name real
We didn't
quick
do the
too.
clock rate.
Let's see, host name, router B. Let me see. Enable comp T, host name, router B. Let's see. We need to go back into the serial port 0/0/1, because the one thing I forgot to put in was the clock rate speed, because they're all defaulted to 2 million.
Well,
So we need.
just on the router one, the DCE sign is the only one they put a clock rate on. You don't put one on the S. Let's see. Over here on the first router, is that serial port 1 or is that serial port 0?
0.
So the S0 is DCE.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So DCE is the only one you put the clock rate on.
Okay, so then
Did you do that?
no, I didn't put clock rate on, because I just remembered about it after I saw the little time clock on the wire.
Okay.
So we'll go back to the router A. So my apologies, guys. That's one important step that I missed. And then we'll do enable Cisco 2, excuse me, Cisco 1, interface 0/0.
Hang on, I'm stuck for some reason. My passwords are weird.
And so your first pass
CISCO.
should be, your first password should go into Cisco space 2. And then when you do enable, it'll ask you for another password, which should be the secret. It'll be Cisco space 1.
There we go. Okay.
All right. So we're gonna go into our interface S0/0/0. Just do a check. Everyone's still with me?
Yes.
One second.
Roger.
T interface S0/0/0. All right, I'm good.
All right. Billy, are you with me still, man?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. So now that we're back here, now we can do our clock rate, and it's gonna be 64,000.
Now the clock rate, one word or two words?
Yeah, it's supposed to be 2. So just remember clock space rate on that one, because I always do it. We'll put thinking it's one word, and there we go. All right,
There's
then we can
more
do
again.
end, and we'll do a copy run start. Enter right there. And okay, so we got it set there. We do still have to do it here on our router B as well.
Yeah. Just
Let's
serial
see.
port 0 now. Right.
So same thing, interface 0S0/0/0.
Mm-hmm.
Clock rate or clock space rate 64,000. copy, run, start. There we go. All right, and again, just make sure everyone's still with me. Everyone's got those changes put in for their serial ports there.
I'm good.
Roger.
I'm good.
All right. And so as I mentioned, we connected one cable right between router. Here, let me change that right here. Router A. Just because it's going to be easier, just go ahead and do that. Router B. And of course, we know this is going to be router C. All right, so between router A and router B, we can establish that our serial connections are talking. We've got the green arrows here. That is a good indication. You know, when we go to testing, we'll get 100% accuracy on that, because even though that they may be connected and we do have them configured, sometimes we won't see the underlying issue when we try to do our ping test. So this is still a good sign, but until we do that ping test, we won't know for sure if it's going to communicate fully through. But we're going to go ahead and set up our last router at router C. So if we go
Now,
ahead and click
Dale,
in there.
I'm sorry, Neil. Let me interject 1 second. Also, too, if you hover over the router, it'll tell you whether that serial port line, like in the first router, it should show S0 as being up, and then it should show on the second router that S1 is up. If you just hover over it, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir. I forgot all about that. Thank you for that reminder on
Okay.
that.
All right.
All right, so we'll go ahead and get into router C now, guys. Of course, you know your first password is Cisco2 for the line console password. We'll do enable, and it'll ask us for the secret now, which is Cisco space 1. And we can go ahead and go into conf T. And we'll go ahead and start going to our interfaces and setting up the last bit of IPs. So interface G0/0, IP address 195.95.5.3 for our gateway.
Hey, Neil.
Sir,
Neil. Uh, uh, I did want you, if you would mind, to pull up a PC and connect to the console port and
oh,
show how to do it that way.
that's right. I did forget that.
Um, this,
So here,
if you wouldn't mind doing that, I would appreciate it. Uh,
not a, not a problem. We'll just finish up setting up this IP here, and then I'll back out and get this
okay,
redone.
okay.
So
Uh, It'll pick up right where you left off once you connect.
right. All right. So
Okay.
let's see. So we'll get a PC, and we'll need our console cable. All right. So I know I kind of moved too quick there, but go to your end devices. You know, select your PC down here at the bottom left, and just drag it somewhere to the right of router C,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're gonna click that lightning bolt right there again, and you're gonna select the second uh, item. I know my mouse is not showing, but if you can see where I'm switching back and forth from, you're gonna click that that light blue arch wire.
Yeah. It
You'll
says
click the
console, right?
Yep. You'll click the PC, and we're gonna connect to the RS-232
Yes.
from right there, and we'll go over to router C, and the other end of that will connect to the console port
Yeah.
on that router.
Yeah. Now that's just like that blue flat cable that you use to connect up uh, when we do it in class, right?
Yep.
And so
All right.
now you can click on the PC, open up the PC.
Yep. And we'll go to desktop,
Mm-hmm.
and we are looking for terminal is
Yeah, that's it.
yep. Terminal is Cisco packet tracers, version of, R for us for putty. And when
Right.
we get into here, we don't have to change anything on this. It's already pre-set up, and you'll just
Right.
click
Right there.
OK.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can see from where we had left off on, going straight to the CLI, it's showing right here as well, just in what you would actually see in the real world, a black screen, white text.
Okay.
And so we
And
don't,
Can we do everything like we normally would in Packet Tracer through the console cable like that? Like if we were actually doing it on the equipment, it would have no effect in this program?
right,
correct.
it would work. It would work.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. I was just making sure it wasn't a programming bug or anything in there. I was just making sure because we
No,
should have
it
been doing
was,
it this way all the way. I like
well,
this way.
well, when we were using Dan's course, we were trying to follow him step by step, right? And so he was using CLI. So either or, it doesn't stop it from working one way or the other. But we were trying to follow what he was doing, so we use CLI, which is just a shortcut. It just keeps you from having to plug the PC and connect it that way. But
No,
yeah,
I understand. I understand.
it
I was just making sure that if I decided to do it that way, it wasn't going to cause conflicts later. And
no,
my
no
issue is
conflict.
doing it that way.
Okay, no conflict.
Well, just for you, Marion, we're gonna go ahead and just do an end and just kind of do it as you would, kind of coming into it. Let's see, actually exit.
Oh no,
Sorry.
no, you don't have to. You don't. I was just like, I like that. That's actually because then it gets you into what you should actually be seeing. So I like that right there because I'm a visual type person. So when I try to remember stuff, I try to remember what I was actually doing. And if I do it this way, it helps me actually remember it because I'm not trying to remember packet tracer way. I'm trying to remember the actual way. But
Okay,
that's just me. That's all.
okay. Well, that's no problem.
Yep. Well, I've already pretty much backed out, so just like I said, for you, Marion, since you said you're a visual, we're just gonna kind of run it like you would in real world, just from this screen right here. So of course, we're just pretty much seeing what we see right here. So we'll do Cisco space 2 for the line cons, since we're doing line console in, and of course, you get router enable, asking us for a secondary password, which would be our secret password. So Cisco space 1, and again, pretty much straight through like we did, going straight to the route to the CLI. Same concept, just different screen. But the screen you would see in real world situation where it's black and white text. But we can continue off this since we're already here. We did set up our G0/0, so we'll do comp T and go into interface G0/1. We'll do IP address 195.95.10.3 with our subnet mask, Class C subnet mask we've always used, and a no shut. And we'll go into the last port of G0/2, and we'll do IP address 195.95.20.3, and our, of course, Class C subnet mask with a no shut. So we've got all of our IPs set up on the gigabit ports. So
Wait,
now
we don't have all of them.
we did G0/0 before I did the line console.
Yeah, but we only have the .10 and the .20. Where's dot? Oh wait, no. Okay, hold on. Unless if oh wait, no. Did you already do .5 for
We
VLAN 5?
we did the 5.3 before I came to the console cable when Miss Martin had to remind me.
Okay, you just give me 1 second.
Yeah, he didn't start over. He just picked up where he left off.
Yeah, so let's just do a show run to make sure.
Did you get the serial ports in there?
Not yet. I was just double
Okay.
checking that I did do the 5.3, and when I do a show run on my screen here, I can see that I did put it in. Dale, if you didn't get a chance to do it, I can go through the steps real quick for you, man, just to make sure you've got it.
I'm
But do
checking
a
mine.
yeah, do a show run to make sure.
Okay, I got. Yeah, mine's exactly like yours.
Okay, so escape. So now we got to go back to conf T, and now we're gonna go into the serial port. So if we're connecting from router B to router C, we need to go into S0/0/1, and we'll do IP address. And remember, we changed the IP address, so it's not the 198. It's going to be 199.99.99.2 because we did a 99.1 on 0 S000 on router B.
Mhm.
And
He's
we'll
on
do.
IP address.
hmm And then do your Class C subnet mask. Oh, and we'll do a no shut. Let's see. Alright, and that has now been configured. And now we'll go ahead and do our router rips. So, router space rip, and we'll do network. Let's see, spell that out correctly. One network, so we'll do 195.95.5.0. And again, you hit the up key just for quick access, just change the 5 to a 10. And same thing, 10 to a 20. And you can hit up and just erase the last one, or you can type it all out, but network 199.99.99.0. This time we don't have to do the 198 because we don't have a 198 IP on a serial port on this. It's just our regular 95 network IPs and then the 99 serial port on this router. Bless you.
Pleasure.
Okay, we'll do an end right there and a copy run start. Alright. Alright, so now we got all of our routers set up with IPs addresses, so we'll go ahead and connect our cables again. So if you go down to the lightning bolt cable and click your serial DCE, which has that little time clock on it, and you'll just do from serial 000 straight over to router C to 00/1. And so now we're going to go ahead and connect all of our trunk port cables as well. So we'll come down here to the dotted line cable that you see. And a quick way, if you don't want to go back and forth clicking, hold Control and click it. It'll automatically just hold that cable for as long as you need it. So you ain't got to sit there and go back and forth, back and forth. But we'll start from the bottom switch. Now I may have the order of ports incorrectly on this, but I'm just going to run how I remember it. We're going to do 24 from the bottom left switch over to 24 here. And again, we'll do port 23 on that switch to port 23 here. And just kind of keep going back and forth, doing 24 to 24, and then 23 to 23, 24 to 24, 23 to 23, 24, 24, 23 to 23. Alright, and when you're done doing that, you just hit escape and it drops that dotted line cable we just put in. And so now we're going to go ahead and connect our straight through cables. So right next to that little blue arch console cable, you're going to hold Control and click that one there. And what we'll do is we'll go to router A. We're going to start with gigabit 0/0 for VLAN 5, and we'll connect to Fast Ethernet port 1 since that's on VLAN 5. And same thing, go back to the router, G0/1, that's on VLAN 10, and I'm going to start with 11 because that's the start of the VLAN 10. And same thing, G0/2, we need to go to VLAN 20, that starts with 16. That to me is the easiest. I always start with the first port in the VLAN. For VLAN 5, it's always 1. VLAN 10 was 11, and VLAN 20 is 16. That's always my default, for connecting to the correct VLANs. So kind of do the same thing for the other routers here. (16) 0 to 1, 1 to 11, and 2 to 16. All right. So we have collected our equipment. We have configured. We have connected to a degree. So now we still need to place our regular PCs and connect them to the appropriate switches. So I'm going to go to end devices back down here. I'm going to hold the Control and click PC. and I'm just going to go ahead and start setting up a couple of PCs. Okay, so we've got our 9 PCs. I'm going to hit escape to drop, from having just PC, go back to my cables. Hold control again, and I'm going to click the straight through cable again. So if you guys remember, depending on how you look at it, your first couple of PCs here will go to VLAN 5. These PCs in the middle go to VLAN 10, and these PCs will go to VLAN 20. Now, that for me, that's the easiest way I remember it. If you want to try to do it visually from the rack, you could do it as, the router A, the top PC here, if I'm kind of highlighting, that's, 5, 10, 20, 5, 10,
Oh,
20.
whoops! I did mine all wrong. Oops. Hang on. It shouldn't take me long to fix.
That's okay. I was just kind of explaining some things, but we're going to go ahead
Wait,
and connect our PCs now to the proper VLAN. So go ahead, Dale.
all right. So the top 3 PCs. Hang on. Let me redo this real quick. Let me hit control. Okay, so the first top 3 PCs are all going to be VLAN 5. The next, like the ones in the middle row, is going to be VLAN 10, and the bottom one's going to be VLAN 20.
Yes, that, like I
Okay.
said, that for me was the easiest way to remember it, because I know what I noticed when doing the hands-on final from previous classes, there were some people getting kind of confused on what VLANs are going where for the PCs. So I just tried to make it simple that I automatically knew the first 3 PCs on the top were going to be VLAN 5, because if you looked at it from a up-down perspective for rack's sake, it was always the first router or first switch was connecting PC to 5, the second router was connecting to VLAN 10, and the third PC was connecting to VLAN 20. So to make it simple, I was like, well, if the top left PC is on VLAN 5, then that means the other 2 PCs in that same row are going to be VLAN 5 as well.
Right.
So just
Going
to kind of
downward, right? Mhm.
So what I did, guys, because I know I wasn't saying it, but I took the first 3 PCs and I went, to fast Ethernet port 2. So we're gonna highlight it right here. If you look at the second one here, fast Ethernet /2, it says up.
That's,
That's because I got my PC connected to that one right there.
Neil, Neil, hold up 1 second. Getting close to the end of class period. Now, you don't have to. If you guys want to continue to work on this, you're more than welcome to do it till you finish, or you can wait till next class period and come back and finish it then. If you,
Um,
if you, if you want to come back, go ahead and do your file save at the top left up there. Do your file save, not on the equipment, but on the actual packet tracer file, and then that way you can pull it back up and start over again if you want to quit right now, because you got like 3 or 4 minutes left in the class.
Yep, I was getting ready to kind of wrap it up, but I'm just gonna go ahead and quickly do this real quick. So what I'm doing, guys, before we do wrap up, just real quick, the top 3 PCs here, I connected all of these to port 2 on the first couple of switches here. So what I have right here in this section, these PCs connected to the fast Ethernet port 2. In the middle section for VLAN 10, these PCs are connected to fast Ethernet port 11. Since that's the start of VLAN 10 and it's not being taken up by the routers, I just went ahead and defaulted it there. And then the last 3 PCs down here on VLAN 20 are connected to fast Ethernet port 16. And so what we can go ahead and do is we can save this here, and if you guys want, we can pick this up again on Thursday, or as Mr. Martin said, we could continue. But we are pretty much nearing the testing now, pretty much, after we set in our IPs to the computers.
I can wait till next week
Yeah.
Monday,
Sorry, Thursday.
or next
Yeah.
session, right?
Yeah,
All right.
I think that makes sense.
But yeah, nice job, guys. I hope everything that I've shown you guys today will get you really good and started. We actually got through a lot of the what I would believe the complicated stuff. You know, kind of getting the configuration and setting up passwords. I did spend a little bit of time before, you know, kind of showing, just because I really wanted to show you guys this myself, because there's some people have said I'm good at, you know, explaining and showing at least, but may I not have the best description of explaining everything the right way, but enough
Oh,
to
I
that
think
everyone
you
can.
did an excellent job. Excellent. I'm gonna clap my hand to you, everybody. You did a great job, uh, Mr. Teacher today. I want to give it to you. Now, uh, here's what you can do. Like you said, when you come back, you can come back and uh, complete whatever little task you have left, and then test it. And then also, when you come back, I can make you. If you notice on the screen, everybody's a presenter. um, I can make presenters again, and then if someone had an issue, you can put yours up on the screen, and together you guys can look it over and see what's wrong and that kind of stuff. Uh, this is something that we didn't have before. You know, we didn't have it. So, to be this close up with it anyway, of course, you could have went over and looked at it on Neil's desk or whatever and see what he had. But for us to be going through it this way, we didn't have that. And so I think this is, in a way, a kind of a mixed blessing. Of course, we love to be on campus together, but this is great at the same time. Don't you agree?
I agree. I
Yeah.
think that for the people that actually missed this, we could probably put this on Blackboard that says, "Hey, we got, if you guys were not here, you might want to watch this video as we kind of go over how to do the hands-on final."
Yeah. And I recorded it, so we got it. And
Yeah,
so,
it's
I'll
just
put
a
it back
small.
on the, yeah, I'll put it over there. And so all I have to do is click on the link. So all of that is great. So
Oh
for
yeah,
whatever reason, if people missed it and they need to come back and look at it, they'll be able to get to that. So,
which is great.
yeah. There you go. All right. Okay, so let's end it up. Neil, go ahead and take us out, man.
Alrighty, guys. Well, again, thank you for allowing me to show you the hands-on file. Again, it's not going to be the exact way Mr. Martin probably will hand it to us, but just using our previous knowledge of what we've done. Like I said, I hope my lesson and, setup, config, connect, I can't remember the whole entire thing, but basically, you guys understand what I'm trying to say. I hope that what I've shown you will help you going forward. Of course, Mr. Martin will make a link so that you can review this at your own time if you wish. Would advise try to do it without the video at first and see what you can remember, what you know. But in sheer honesty, if you remember all the stuff we've done from past hands-on files, it's just adding in those passwords, and it's literally just 3 lines per section for the line console 0, the line VTY04, and line aux0, and then just password and login. If you remember that, you're gonna ace this hands-on final. No questions asked.
Oh yeah.
All right. Anybody got any questions before we get out of here today?
I have none.
Well,
I have
guys,
I
none.
have none.
it's been a joy, guys. I mean, I wish more people would have come, but like I said, they'll have the link if they want to come back and look at it. And don't forget to go over there and click on that attendance thing and show your attendance for the day. Thank everybody for coming in. And so have a blessed day, and we'll see you again on Thursday, okay?
All right, please stay safe out there, guys.
Absolutely.
Same to y'all. Be safe.
All right, everybody can leave now.
All right.
All right, take care, y'all.
All right,
See y'all Thursday.
Bye bye.
bye-bye.